My sister was super jealous when I inherited Mom's estate and married into a wealthy family. She set our villa on fire, dragging me down into the flames with her. When I opened my eyes again, my parents were getting a divorce. Unhesitatingly, my sister chose Mom, who was about to marry into another wealthy family. With a sneer, she told me, "This time, I'll definitely live better than you." I was secretly thrilled as I took my dad's hand. Finally, I escaped a family that would eat you alive. I'm finally headed for a normal life. When Molly left with Mom, I realized she had been reborn too. She held Mom's hand, eyes full of excitement, spewing nonsense. "Dad's a loser, he'll never get anywhere. Sis can go live a hard life with Dad. Mom never wronged Dad. So beautiful, Mom deserves to be a wealthy wife. Let's go see my stepdad, introduce me to my stepbrother. He'll be rich, I'm gonna marry him." Mom looked at Molly and sighed, her eyes showing a hint of sadness. Like she worried her precious daughter was headed towards disaster. But that worry faded quickly. After all, sacrificing a daughter for a life of luxury seemed worth it. Seeing Molly's happy steps, I laughed to myself. She only saw the glamorous side of my life as a rich man's wife. The fancy furs, the wealth, the luxury. Clueless about my life behind closed doors, painful etiquette classes, disgusting high society mingling, shameful deals. Her cherished stepdad was actually a psycho, with a love for abuse. The man she admired was a control freak with bizarre habits, locking people in the basement. Watching Molly and Mom get into a Rolls-Royce, I happily held Dad's hand. "Dad, let's go home." Dad saw my joy, sighed, "You could have had it all with Mom, I feel I let you down." I shook my head. "How could you let me down, Dad? I've got food, school, and your love. That's the best life." My earnestness touched Dad deeply. He patted my head, finally relaxing. As I sat in class, enjoying my education, Molly must have been bullied in her fancy school. Imagining her being humiliated in the bathroom like that, Dad's home-cooked meals seemed tastier. I could eat 3 bowls of rice. When I got into my dream college and fell in love, Molly was probably with some gross old guy. Imagining her with that greasy creep, my boyfriend's caring nature was even more precious. When I graduated and married my boyfriend, I saw on TV that Molly married her stepbrother. Dad looked at the screen, slightly sad, then at me, "Vivian, do you regret not going with your mom?" I was shocked. All these years, Dad still felt guilty. Probably due to Mom's past manipulations. I shook my head seriously, "You're the best dad in the world. Why compare with others? None would care for me like you." My understanding moved Dad to tears. He handed me a savings book, "For you." I was cautious, worried you'd meet the wrong person. "But you're married now, and your husband's decent. I hear you're planning a family and a bigger home. Take this, do what you need." He also gave me a property deed. "This house, I don't need it. Selling it might help you." I was shocked by his generosity. "Dad, you can't sell your house." "It's okay. I've arranged to live in a retirement home with old friends. Perfect for my age. After raising you, I deserve a good life." Tears welled up, warmth spreading through me. In the last life, Dad gave Molly everything, but all she did was call him a loser. He urged her to study, she dated shady guys. She wasted college money. He hoped for her happiness, but she blamed him, regretted not going with Mom. Before Molly dragged me into the fire, Dad had a stroke from her anger and died at home. I hugged Dad, tears flowing. "I'll send Dad to the best retirement home, let him enjoy life. I'll live well so you won't worry." "Good, as long as Vivian's happy, I'm at ease." When I showed my husband Vincent the savings and deed, he brought out his parents' savings too. Together, we felt blessed to have such great parents. After some discussion, we decided to delay having a baby and invest in new media. Vincent, with great insights, shared his ideas about new media. Every word struck a chord with me. As someone reborn, I knew new media would boom in a few years. Advertising, streaming, a rapid rise was imminent. When Vincent proposed we dive in, I threw my support behind him. We set up base in the South, starting just the two of us. Handling everything from editing to filming. Over time, once everything was steady, and we started earning, our small company grew to 20 people. That's when I stepped back, focusing on starting a family. Of course, during that time, I didn't forget to keep an eye on my sister, Molly. After she married her stepbrother, she stepped into the entertainment industry. Occasionally, there'd be rumors about her and some big directors. Sometimes, there'd be leaked passionate photos with male celebrities. Such scandals were endless, so she just embraced it and made outrageous comments in entertainment shows to boost ratings. Every time she'd make progress in her career, she'd disappear for a bit, claiming she was resting. But everyone knew she'd probably been abused again. Once, she showed up at her product launch with bruises on her face. She said she fell down the stairs, trying to throw people off. 5 years later, Vincent had become the chairman of a media company. As the chairman's wife, I owned 90% of the company's shares. I took a sip of the freshly squeezed pomegranate juice Vincent had made for me and said, "You didn't have to transfer all those shares to me. After all these years, how could I not trust you? He was changing our newborn son's diaper. Giving you the shares is like giving you a bouquet of flowers. It's my way of showing love." I smiled sweetly and was about to flirt with my husband when the assistant said, "The banquet is ready. The company heads are mostly here. We can go now." Vincent handed the baby to the nanny and instructed the driver to pick up our eldest daughter from school. Then he put on his coat, reached out his hand, and said, "My beautiful wife, may I have this dance with you tonight?" I placed my hand in his, dragging my vibrant red dress as we entered the waiting car. The drive was smooth, arriving at the venue in just 10 minutes. Our appearance together was the highlight of the event. This year, our media company had broken new records, becoming the hottest platform and most profitable husband and wife business online. Many business leaders came to socialize. Vincent took the lead while I enjoyed myself, quietly observing the event. As I was engrossed in the performance, a familiar deep voice caught my attention. "Excuse me, lovely lady, is this seat taken?" I looked up to see a man in a well-tailored suit and gold-rimmed glasses. He carried an aura of wealth and confidence. Without waiting for my response, he sat beside me, his presence commanding. Jack. It was Jack. My husband from a previous life and now, in this life, Molly's husband. I felt a chill down my spine and gripped the chair. With a subtle eyebrow raise and a hidden smile, he said, "Don't know why, but you look familiar. Have we met?" I denied it, trying to stay composed. He sighed, "What a pity. If we'd met, you'd surely be my wife." I pressed my lips tightly, remembering Jack's words from my past life. "Vivian, you can only be mine. No matter how my dad pressured you, you must stay with me. Don't worry. Once he's gone, I'll give you the world, as long as you stay by my side." Those sweet words were like poison, luring me in. But only God knows, Jack is a beast with no bounds of morality. Jack always had followers, and many women dreamed of getting close to him. Yet, no one knew about the bodies in his basement. He would skin young women alive, preserve their skins in formaldehyde, then sew them into dolls to give to me. To him, that was the most beautiful handmade gift, a token of his love. A sudden sound broke my thoughts. Vincent's wine glass shattered on the floor. To my surprise, standing by Vincent was my sister Molly. In a low-cut dress and clearly intoxicated, she leaned against Vincent, murmuring, "Mr. Vincent, I've admired you for so long. Can't we have just one more drink?" Vincent's eyes couldn't hide his disdain. I frowned, ready to stand when Jack held my hand down. "Let go," I demanded. He smiled slightly. How could I let go of such a beautiful woman? He leaned down to kiss my hand, and instinctively, I splashed my wine on Jack's face. He tensed up but remained composed, his lazy elegance unchanged. He spoke, "Vincent's wife, why don't we watch this interesting drama?" "What do you mean?" "I invested millions into Molly's looks so she could be the most recognized beauty in the industry. Whatever collaboration she's involved in with my company, she always succeeds. Today, I have a business proposal for your company, but Mr. Vincent doesn't seem keen on me, doesn't give me the chance. So, I used Vivian. Do you think after 7 years of marriage, there'd be an itch?" I was stunned, almost feeling sick. And I'm saying if Vincent doesn't pass this test, maybe you could consider me." "Consider you for what? To be your mistress?" He shook his head with a smile. "No, I never legally married Molly. My official wife could be you, Vivian, Molly's sister. Shame that it wasn't you they brought to our house back then. If it were you, I probably wouldn't have been so lonely all these years." His words were chilling, sending shivers down my spine, triggering memories I thought I'd forgotten. "Vivian, love me, okay? I don't ask for much, just to love you. What does it matter if there's no freedom? I'm protecting you. The world outside is scary. Vivian, I love you. Only you." He would shower me in affection but never allow me to leave his control. His kind of goodness was terrifying, the kind that scared you deeply, trapping you in his hold. Jack's dad once tried to make a move on me. But Jack saved me by hurting himself. Jack's family wanted to keep their status as the top wealthy family, so Jack's dad tried to give me to all sorts of sleazy old guys. After I turned 18, I was always waiting to be tormented by his father. But Jack kept standing up to his dad. Eventually, he managed to get my name on his marriage certificate. I don't understand why, after all these years, Jack didn't marry Molly. And I can't figure out why Jack lets Molly do such outrageous things. I'm also confused about why his habits disappeared, but instead, he made Molly a big star who flirts everywhere. Anyway, I've broken free from Jack and I won't repeat my mistakes. I want to break away from Jack's grasp, but he pulled me into a corner of the emergency exit. He pushed me against the wall, the smell of his cologne invaded my nose. Nearly pressing his face to mine, he said, "Seeing your picture gave me a jolt. You say we don't know each other, but how can I be so fascinated by you? Just reading your profile makes my blood boil." His hoarse voice wormed into my ears. I clenched my teeth, my body was tense, feeling ashamed. "Respect yourself," I demanded. "Respect?" He chuckled. "What's the point of respect in front of a woman I like? I didn't believe in love at first sight until I met you, Vivian. I want you, even if you're married." On my 18th birthday, in a past life, he was like this too. Ignoring my wishes, doing whatever he wanted, driven mad by how pure I was. But also tormented by our sibling-like status. I was barely breathing. I warned, "Jack, there are so many people outside. If I scream, could you walk out of here with your dignity intact?" He smirked. "You're so beautiful, but that mouth of yours isn't behaving." He leaned in again. My face flushed, abandoning all pride, I yelled, "Help!" Before I could finish, a figure pushed Jack aside. The calming scent of mint reassured me. It was Vincent, looking stone-cold serious. "Jack. Vivian is my wife." He asserted his claim. Jack's face froze for a moment but he quickly recovered. He slipped a hand into his pocket casually. "Vincent, I have a game. Want to give it a try?" Vincent's brow furrowed. "You've known each other for 7 years. You must know each other inside and out. Vincent, you're a rising star in business now. Don't you want to experience a different life? That 7-year itch, it's real." His words carried humor but also venom. He could easily lead people to ruin with a few words. He was sharp-minded, never falling into his own traps. Otherwise, those women throwing themselves at him wouldn't be turned away. Vincent wrapped his hand around my shoulder tightly as if shielding me. "Jack, save those games for yourself. Whether it's 7 years or a century, my heart belongs only to Vivian. We shouldn't have come here today. Vincent led me away. I could feel the sharp gaze like daggers behind us. I clung to Vincent's hand, but my body was trembling uncontrollably. My knees weakened. I might have fallen if Vincent hadn't held me up. Vincent gently kneeled down, picked me up in his arms in front of everyone. No, there are too many people, I protested. Then lean against me, I'll shield you. As we approached the exit, Molly, who'd been pestering Vincent, blocked our path. Vincent, who are you bringing home? I was in your arms, but didn't even get a chance to exchange numbers. So, you found someone else, huh? But Vincent, I'm open-minded. I wouldn't mind sharing. Her words were brazen. Vincent replied with a sneer, get lost. I peeked out, recognizing Molly after all these years. Molly looked ready to mock and jeer, but stopped when she recognized me. Vivian, you, how can it be you? I ignored her. Vincent carried me forward. Molly ran after us. How can you be with Vincent? Vincent's a rising business star, but he's got a wife and kid. Vivian, you're just a kept mistress. I'll expose you, humiliate you. She snapped a photo, but Vincent knocked the phone out of her hand. Vivian is my wife. I won't let you slander her. Molly was shocked, eyes wide with disbelief. What? Vivian is your wife? But, she's just the daughter of a penniless dad. How could she have risen? No, you must be lying. Vincent squinted, noticing the resemblance between Molly and me. Vincent easily guessed Molly might be my sister. I whispered to Vincent, let's go, no need to bother with her. As we got into the car, Molly chased us, banging on the window and shouting. Vivian, how are you so lucky in a second chance? Vincent will have tons of women, and you'll end up like me, a plaything in business. The car drove off. Molly tried to follow but stumbled. She looked so pitiful in the rearview mirror. Vincent held me close the whole time. He didn't ask about Jack, just said, I shouldn't have let you be alone. It won't happen again. I shook my head, feeling comfort in his embrace. If it wasn't for Vincent, I wouldn't know what true love is. If not for his kindness over the years, how would I have been redeemed from my past life's experiences? I'm just worried Jack might target you. Let him come at me if he wants, I'm not scared, but giving you up would be worse than dying. Once home, Vincent took me to our bedroom. He glanced at our well-behaved eldest daughter and hugged our adorable son. He then lay on top of me, refusing to move. Honey, tell me you love me. I don't know why, but when I see Jack, I just want to punch him. It's obvious he's interested in you. The last time he acted this clingy was when I spent too long cuddling our son and didn't pay attention to him, which made him jealous. I pinched his handsome face, trying to lighten his mood, but he wouldn't budge and instead insisted on more affection. For several days after, Vincent didn't go to work and stayed home with me. He cooked with me, hung laundry, and held my hand while we walked. He was all over me, with his heart and eyes full of me. It seemed like he was jealous and acting like a child, but I knew he understood my fear. My constant waking from night terrors was proof of that. During this time, Jack visited several times, but Vincent turned him away. Every time Jack showed up, Vincent would have a heart-to-heart with me. Vincent didn't ask about my past with Jack, he'd just ask simple things. Like, do you remember what my favorite dish is? I remember all of Honey's preferences. Do you think I've become a bit more handsome lately? I went to the salon for a facial, as you suggested yesterday. I don't think my clothes look that good. You're right, custom designs suit my CEO status better. Compared to my nightmares, I was more worried about Vincent's mental state. Eventually, he confessed to me, Jack is really handsome. I hate to admit it, but you won't leave me, right? You're already the mother of my 2 kids, don't be like some others. But you're too beautiful, even more womanly at 30 than at 20. I'm afraid. But if you really have feelings for Jack, Please don't tell me. I'll pretend I don't know. I'll love you the same. I'm scared you'll abandon me. I hugged his head and took a deep breath. I still didn't know how to explain the past between Jack and me from another life. At that moment, Vincent's phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. Vincent, I'm Molly. Sorry about last time. I want to apologize personally to you and your wife. Room 9999 at the Queen Hotel tonight. Are you interested? Vincent rolled his eyes after reading the message. Is this really your sister? One is in the clouds, the other in the dirt. No wonder Jack has been longing for you. After all, his wife is so low. I should send this text to the media, let them blow up Jack's betrayal, and blacklist someone like Molly. Vincent was fuming, but suddenly, I came up with an idea. If you confront Jack head-on, you might lose out. Vincent frowned. Lose out? Just taking you to that event was a massive loss. Jack's a psycho, daring to touch even married women. I regret showing off my perfect wife. Vincent wrapped his arm around my waist, giving me a few needy kisses. I reassured him, we're new money, not as strong as their century-old family. Going head-to-head will only bring trouble. I have a plan that can cause chaos within their family. Do you want to hear it? He paused. What plan? I said, Queen Hotel, room 9999. You take me there. Vincent trusts me completely. Whatever I want to do, he never says no. Jack, on the other hand, wouldn't listen to anything I said. He would go his own way, full steam ahead. He was forceful, arrogant, and created an intimidating aura around himself, making his enemies surrender without a fight. But I knew their family was already falling apart after Jack's father died. Their current success is just a charade to save face. Their prestigious titles are all hollow. They're too busy with internal conflicts to care about the outside world. If someone can poke a hole in their facade, it could bring Jack's entire family down. I found my needle, and it was Molly. When I opened the door to room 9999, I saw a nearly naked woman swaying her hips, oozing feminine allure. I frowned, walking closer. Molly noticed me halfway through her dance, finally seeing me in casual clothes on the sofa. Her beautiful face fell instantly. Vivian? Why are you here? Where's Vincent? He's not coming, I replied. Molly gritted her teeth. Then why are you here? To chase me away? I shook my head. I'm here to guide you. Molly let out a sarcastic laugh. You want to mock me? Live through it all again, and I still come out worse than you? Vivian, I tell you, I'm living well. My closets can't hold all my luxury goods. I dine at fancy restaurants, go to high-end clubs, I have millions of followers. I'm happy every day. I sighed. Why fake it? I pulled out a stack of photos. They showed Molly with an older wealthy director, in compromising scenes. Some showed Molly on her knees like a stray dog. Her eyes welled with anger and resentment upon seeing the photos. Vivian. Is this your goal? You knew exactly what I might face when I left with Mom. But you didn't warn me. You let me jump into this hell. In the past, how did you fake it so well? How did Jack become so obedient under your hand? You were like a princess to Jack. Do you know how jealous I was? But what about reality? Jack treats me like a toy, a tool for his gain. And his father, when I was just 13, he and Mom. With her tears falling, paired with her surgically perfected face, even I felt a twinge of sadness. I researched Vincent thoroughly. Did you foresee his success and snag the honest, decent guy back in college? I heard you have a son and daughter. Are they Vincent's? Not secret kids from an affair? How do you keep such a great figure even after 2 kids? She kept questioning with blood and tears, showing no concern for her sister she had lost touch with for years. She just wished that my life wasn't as glamorous as it seemed, hoping that I, like her, was just another puppet who married into wealth and became a victim. But, Molly, I've truly lived a wonderful life. As a child, I had a loving father. Growing up, I've had a supportive husband. I took a deep breath and said, in my past life, I didn't pay much attention to Vincent. I didn't know he'd achieve so much. But sister, have you forgotten who Vincent is? She was taken aback. What do you mean? I reflected and said, before our parents divorced, remember the little boy next door? You two were close, playing house together. You were the bride, and Vincent was the groom. Her eyes widened. The boy next door? Maybe she remembered something. You're saying that in another life, if Dad hadn't died because of me, I probably would have married Vincent and become a wealthy wife. I sighed, too bad, you always fail to look back. You only focus on what doesn't belong to you. You saw the glamorous me, cherished by Jack, and when you couldn't win over Jack, you turned sinister. We both died and lived again. I got the life I wanted, but you, is this the life you wanted? Now, compared to my previous life, Molly has no freedom and is controlled by Jack. How proud and hopeful she used to be about love. Now, anyone can have her if it benefits Jack. Tears streamed down Molly's face as she glared at me. Do you want to escape from Jack? I asked. She wiped her tears, still full of resentment. Can I escape from Jack just like that? Those photos you found, Jack can find them too. If he releases them, I'm done for. Do you know how Jack's father died? He fell, got sick and never recovered. I shook my head, speaking bluntly, Jack killed him. She was shocked. Impossible, that's his father. I admitted, Jack didn't just kill his father. There are countless lives on his hands. Think back, most people who dealt with Jack suddenly disappeared. They were all murdered by him. She was confused. How do you know? Jack told me himself. For every person he killed, he'd make a doll out of human skin. Those dolls fill my bedroom. I often wake up at night because of the blood scent. I didn't go into too much detail, but I told Molly, in Jack's study drawer, there are videotapes of his murders. He likes to record them. Those tapes could be enough to send Jack to prison, giving you a chance to escape him. At this moment, I genuinely cared about Molly. If she did as I said, she'd have a chance to return to normal life. I even told her, Dad has been concerned about you all these years. He's your father, after all. Visit him in the nursing home. Seeing you would make him happy. Once you're free from Jack, sign with our agency if you want to continue in the industry. I'll invest resources in you. That's all I had to say. As long as she kept some kindness and wasn't too greedy, if she still had dreams of a better future, everything could be as she imagined. But if... I stood up and left the Queen Hotel. Vincent saw me coming out and immediately got out of the car, wrapped me in a coat, and hugged me. Not seeing you for so long really worried me. I smiled at him, all right, let's go home. You always shower me with too much love. Our kids should be jealous. He pursed his lips, you're their mom, the greatest person in our family. It's right for me to care for you. To Vincent, everything seemed trivial before me. Even when the media company was targeted by old aristocrats, he didn't want me to worry too much. I nestled in Vincent's arms, hubby, we'll definitely be happy forever. A few days later, Molly announced her retirement. As the company's CEO, Jack gave half his shares to Molly. Seeing Molly's smug look on TV, I let out a deep sigh. Poor Molly, she chose the dumbest way. Didn't Jack disdain Molly? Why did he suddenly give her shares? Maybe Jack had a change of heart and decided to treat his wife better, I replied casually. But deep down, I knew Molly must have threatened Jack with evidence of his murders. It was foolish. Jack wasn't someone who could be threatened by Molly. Days later, Jack's company pressured our company more aggressively. Meanwhile, entertainment news said Molly left the country to settle abroad. I knew Molly's end was near. I called the police. With tears and sobs, I told them, I think something happened to my sister. We've lost contact for 48 hours. I fear she was killed by my brother-in-law. I made up a story, saying Molly discovered a secret about Jack. I didn't know what it was, but when we last met, she said she wasn't doing well. I also sent the police photos of Molly's dealings with old sleazy men over the years. The police were shocked. To pressure them, I approached Jack's rival, the Donald family, who've always been at loggerheads with him. I told their CEO everything, giving him a chance to take Jack down. In the end, Vincent's offer of cooperation earned Mr. Sam's support. With Mr. Sam's help, Jack's crimes were exposed online. The public lashed out, attacking Jack's vulnerabilities under media guidance. Their company was already unstable, and this chaos caused them to collapse. Of course, it was all due to Molly's death. After all, she was a celebrity with millions of fans. The moment her body was discovered, it went viral. Molly might have been naive, but she left a plan before she died. She scheduled 100 messages to be sent on Facebook. Each one was formatted to say, on such and such a day, I might not be able to edit this anymore, and there's a good chance I've been killed by my husband Jack. This creep not only killed me but also took the lives of hundreds of innocent girls. I hope someone out there reports this to the police. These scheduled messages put immense pressure on the cops. Even with Jack's complex connections, he couldn't withstand the weight of public opinion. Not to mention, the business world had already had enough of him. On the day Molly's body was found, the Jack murder trial was brought to court. 3 days after her body was found, the creepy human skin dolls in Jack's basement shocked everyone. Exactly 100 days after Molly's body was discovered, Jack was sentenced to prison, death penalty. The moment he was taken to prison, he made several appeals for a retrial. But because of his heinous actions, the court stripped him of his political rights. In the end, he demanded to see me. He had too many things he was unclear on and wanted answers. When the lawyer found me, Vincent was with me. He said, whatever you decide, I'll support you. But why would I want to meet such a lunatic? Could you tell Jack that everything he's going through is his own doing and has nothing to do with anyone else? As for me, tell him to give it up. After the lawyer left, Vincent looked at me with joy and planted a big kiss on my face. I just knew you love me the most, honey. Can't you be a bit more serious? I've been acting serious for way too long. Come on, one more hug.